Have a seat on the ground. Right now. I'm gonna light your ass up. You're not complying. No ID. I'm investigating a robbery.
I have all due respect for law enforcement, I do. But I also have to insist that my constitutional rights be protected. You have not articulated the suspicion.
Educate the public. What law did I break?
I don't know you.
You don't know what law I broke.
I don't
Because there
know
wasn't
you.
one.
So if you...
Can you leave me alone? I'm just filming. Can you leave me alone?
Obstruction.
Can you leave me alone?
It's
not.
Is there a problem?
Is there a problem?
Yes.
I don't have a problem.
Okay.
No.
Why are you guys filming them?
Well, I'm not interested in answering any questions.
Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. When facing the police, you might feel like you're in a position where you have to comply with no real options. But do you really understand your rights in those situations? Do you have the right to refuse to provide ID or film the police while they're on duty? Every citizen has the right to protect their personal freedoms, and those rights are safeguarded by the Constitution. However, many people are still unaware or lack confidence when dealing with situations involving the police. Today, we'll look at real-life situations where citizens have exercised their rights smartly and legally to protect their personal interests. These scenarios not only help you recognize your rights, but also spark a discussion about how we can live in a fair society where everyone's rights are respected. We'll explore why understanding and protecting constitutional rights is important, and help every citizen become aware of their rights when interacting with law enforcement. Is this a legal action or just an abuse of power in a tense situation?
Have a seat on the ground. Right now. I'm gonna light your ass up. You're not complying. No ID. I'm investigating a robbery.
In December 2016 in North Bammel, Houston, Texas, police stopped a 17-year-old teenager running on suspicion of being involved in a nearby robbery, even though the description of the suspect was unclear. When the teenager refused to provide their name and ID, the police threatened to use force and force them to sit on the ground. According to the precedent set in Terry v. Ohio, 392 U.S. 1, 1968, police are allowed to temporarily detain someone if there is reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. But here, simply running near the area where the incident occurred is not specific enough to form reasonable suspicion. Additionally, under Texas Penal Code Section 38.02, citizens are not required to present ID unless they have been arrested or are driving. The police threatening to use force without solid grounds could be considered a violation of the Fourth Amendment, which protects individuals from arbitrary arrest and the use of excessive force.
What are you running for?
I'm jogging.
You jogging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think I broke a cram? I didn't do
I don't
anything.
know. How old are you?
Huh?
How old are you?
Why are you stopping me?
You what?
Why are you stopping me?
You kind of match the description. You got some ID on you? No? How old are you?
17.
17. Well, where do you live?
Apartments.
What's your name?
I don't want to tell you.
Huh?
I don't want to tell you.
Well, have a seat then, because I'm gonna get it where you one way or the other.
Why?
Because you're not identifying yourself to me, and I'm investigating a crime. Sit down on the ground.
No. But my name's Andrew.
Ground. Right now. I'm gonna light your ass up. You're not complying. No ID. I'm investigating a robbery. You're running from that area.
I'm just jogging.
You might be.
Showing boy 15 on today.
It's a law that you have ID on.
17.
17's an adult.
Send them that minor on West of Deer Cross. Handle that. 41-415. I'm
Recording it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just making sure.
Make sure what?
You didn't do anything.
I'm not gonna do anything as long as you're in compliance.
After confirming the suspect was wearing a blue shirt, unlike the teenager, the police continued to detain the individual and ordered handcuffing to verify their identity. This could be seen as an unlawful arrest, de facto arrest, violating the Fourth Amendment, which protects individuals from arrest or excessive force without probable cause. The teenager's refusal to provide personal information was legal, especially since they hadn't been formally arrested, and there was no state law requiring ID in this situation. Handcuffing in circumstances where suspicion was no longer reasonable could be seen as an infringement on personal liberty and an excessive use of power.
You know, you want to be obstinate, you know, and don't want to give me your ID, say you don't have an ID, you don't want to give me your name.
Because you're folding me.
Yeah, I told you I'm investigating a robbery that come down there from the Walgreens, right
Wait,
where you come running
show
from.
me that SOM right to you.
Okay? I'm fixing to find out.
Go for it.
All right. Have any of the units arrived on that scene yet where they can get a description of this male that?
Negative, they're still around, but per the comments, he should be wearing a...
Do I have a blue sweatshirt on? No, thank you. I do not.
Okay, he's got a blue sweatshirt on. Did it have a...
It's a black.
A Mustang logo on the front with an M, blue?
Caller didn't specify, they just said blue sweatshirt. Want me to have Central do a call back?
Yes, if you would, please.
Can I get your name?
Deputy Clark.
Badge number?
Where do you go to school?
I don't want to tell you.
Yes, we're going to have to do this another route.
T4, meet the officer, 300, air take 3724.
Around.
What are you doing?
I'm going to put you in cuffs till I get some information from you, guy. You're being
I go to Davis. Davis.
That's all you're giving.
Huh?
Turn around. Put your hands behind
I'll give
your
you
back.
anything.
Turn around and
Oh
put your
my
hands behind your
God.
back.
That's fair.
If it ain't you, I'll let you go. But you being uncooperative, then we'll deal with it another way.
What are you doing?
In this case, the citizen had the right to refuse to provide information if they were not arrested and could request the officer's name and badge number for filing a complaint later. Staying calm and recording the situation is a way to protect one's rights. You follow the law, but do law enforcement officers ensure they respect your civil rights while carrying out their duties?
I have all due respect for law enforcement, I do. But I also have to insist that my constitutional rights be protected. You have not articulated this as
In February 2021 in Clovis, California, police asked a citizen to present ID while he was sitting in his car near his home. The citizen refused, citing that he was not lawfully detained and referencing the 4th, 5th Amendments and California law. According to Terry vs. Ohio, 1968, police can only detain individuals if there is reasonable suspicion. Illinois vs. Wardlow, 2000, confirms that merely being in an area with criminal activity is not sufficient grounds. California law does not require ID unless you are driving or suspected of a crime. Refusing to provide ID and invoking the 5th Amendment is legal, while the actions of the police could be seen as infringing upon constitutional rights.
identify who I am
Yes.
if I've been detained
Yes.
and if I've been detained legally. California state law says that if I'm being detained and I'm being charged with a crime, that I have to identify myself to
Okay,
you.
Ferguson,
Can I have
it's
the
not
sergeant,
helping you
please?
out.
Could I have the sergeant,
Yes,
please?
he's right here, listening to our conversation.
Sergeant. Hello, Sergeant. Can you please intervene here? Please, sir? And guys, listen, I mean all due respect. I just bought dinner for a California Highway Patrolman tonight. I have all due respect for law enforcement, I do. But I also I also have to insist that my constitutional rights be protected. You have not articulated the
Would you like
suspicion.
to talk to supervisors right here waiting for you?
Yes, I'm sorry.
What is going on tonight?
I was on my way home from the casino, and a friend of mine died, and I was on Facebook writing her brother, and pulled up, and asked me what I was doing. I told him what I was doing, and I told him that I lived right here.
Okay.
And then he started asking for ID. I asked him if I was obliged to show that. He said that I was. I asked him what crime did he suspect me of. He said, well, I don't. There's been no crime. He said it. It's on the tape numerous times. There's been no crime. He doesn't suspect me of a crime. And then claims that I'm being lawfully detained, but yet he suspects me of no crime. That is not the way the California statute is written. I'm just asking you all.
The California statute is written that you may be involved in criminal activity. The officer can detain you.
What criminal activity?
For
I've asked him.
investigative purposes.
I've asked him to describe to me what criminal activity he believes
There-
that I'm involved in.
Did
You said
wanna
that.
talk to me, or did
I'm
you-
sorry. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Sergeant. I don't mean to be disrespectful, sir, but
I appreciate
but you
that.
know as well as I do right now that this is not a legal detaining.
This on
Sir.
the amount of residential and vehicle burglary that have occurred in the area.
Okay.
Which
and
is
you
why-
that you suspect me of.
Sure, right now, because
Okay, and what have I done that gives you that suspicion? This
There-
gentleman, I live in this neighborhood.
you don't live right here.
I live right behind that model.
Okay, what's your address?
3854 Hampton Way.
3854
Yes, sir.
Hampton Way. Okay, so if you could give that information sooner, we could probably get to the bottom of
But
this.
sir, I don't.
quicker,
But
right?
sir, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm not trying to make this difficult.
So,
But sir,
I know you
look,
don't want to give your name, but what's your first name? How's that? So we could talk on a personal
No, at
level.
this
My
point,
name's
sir.
Jeremy.
At this point, sir, I'm sorry. At this point, I'm sorry.
Okay. But you live in this neighborhood, correct?
I plead the fifth.
Okay.
In this situation, the police acted on suspicion because the car was parked in an unusual spot, but they didn't provide specific reasons for the detention. The citizen, though not committing any clear crime, firmly refused to provide ID and protected his rights. However, the lack of clarity and patience from both sides made the situation more tense. The police failed to sufficiently explain the reason for the detention, while the citizen didn't make an effort to cooperate, leading to unnecessary conflict. Both sides had reasonable grounds, but a lack of understanding and flexibility in handling the situation escalated the tension.
Sir.
If you do live in this neighborhood, I'm sure you would appreciate the officers out here making sure that your house and your cars aren't getting broken
Sir,
into,
I do
correct?
appreciate that.
Okay, that's exactly what these officers are trying to do.
I appreciate that, sir.
Okay, cool parts where nobody normally parks with somebody sitting in it.
Well,
Okay, that's common behavior for people that are breaking
can I
into vehicles.
can I
and
say there
houses.
is a security guard named Nate. Stopped here 3 or 4 times. He smoked a cigarette with me the other night. I've told him the first time I was here, he came over and asked me. I told him because I was talking with somebody and I didn't want to flick cigarettes in my roommate's driveway. In my roommate's driveway. So because I didn't want to flick cigarettes in my, I'll tell you what, I will do something for you. Is it okay if I reach for a piece of mail
You
Where
have
are
a
you
piece of
reaching
mail
at,
with
sir?
your.
under this visor?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, you know what? Actually, I've brought it into my house, so. So, my apologies.
I didn't catch it.
What was your address one more time, sir?
Sir, I plead the fifth.
Okay. I believe it was.
You're gonna find my roommate's name there.
Okay, well that doesn't help us very much, does it?
Well, it doesn't, sir, and it doesn't help me very much. I would like to be free to go on my way because you suspect me of a crime.
Correct.
Which one is that?
As I explained to you before,
Yes, sir.
we have reasonable suspicion
Of what, sir?
to believe that you're involved in criminal activity.
Based
here.
on what, sir?
I've explained that to you several
No,
times.
you haven't based your suspicion. What is your What have I done that is suspicious?
Let me explain something to you. Cars, okay, they usually come in numbers.
Okay.
One person commonly waits in the car while the other one
Okay.
commits the theft
Okay.
and comes back to the car.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
The car usually parks in an area that has quick access
Right
to
out
the
in
main
front here.
road.
Right out in front here on the main road. Right out in
Correct.
front. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. For about 40 minutes. Okay.
So when a security guard sees that,
Mhm.
he knows to call, which he did,
Okay.
which brought us out here
Right.
to talk to you.
Yes, sir. You did.
Now, when we come to talk to you, we're trying to confirm why
Sure.
you're here.
And he confronted me and he asked me.
Right, but it's also
And-
common
and-
for people
and-
to lie, right?
Well, do you suspect me of lying?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know
Well,
you.
if you don't suspect me of lying, sir, and he doesn't suspect me of a crime,
criminal activity. That's
what is the criminal activity and what is your
Okay, we're not
articulate?
gonna
Sir,
go-
sir,
we're
sir,
not
I'm
gonna
asking
go back
you,
and forth.
Sergeant, please, with all due respect, please, I'm asking you to articulate your suspicion.
I just did to
You're
you.
not, sir. Crimes happen. You're saying that houses are broken into.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that getaway drivers sometimes sit out near the road. Sir, that does not articulate.
All of that adds to reasonable suspension to detain. Okay.
To detain me.
Correct.
For doing a legal activity. For sitting on the side of this road, reading Facebook, possibly being involved. Yep. What do you articulate that suspicion is based on?
You can stand by with my partner right here. We're going to confirm the information that you've given us so far. We've got some information to check who you are. 6/20. As long as we can confirm that you're not doing anything illegal.
Sir, you don't have the right to detain me right now. You do not have the right to detain me right now. You are acting outside of the color of law, detaining me without an articulable suspicion. I have respect for law enforcement. I'm frankly beside myself that I'm beside myself. That I'm not suspected of a crime. This gentleman, no crime. I don't suspect you of a crime. He told me I wasn't suspected of a crime.
Well, I explained to you why you're being detained. That is not true.
Well, then articulate the suspicion, please, sir.
We've already articulated.
No, you haven't. You articulated that sometimes houses get broken into.
Not sometimes, a lot.
A lot. So how does that... Sir, do you follow me? Am I being unreasonable?
I believe you are being unreasonable, yes. I think you're misunderstanding the fact of law.
No, the fact of law is that you need to have articulable suspicion.
We do. We've explained
of what,
it to you
sir?
over and over and over.
No, you haven't.
Somebody doesn't mean that they have to be committing the offense.
No,
okay?
No, it means that you have to suspect them of it.
To detain somebody, there has to be a reasonable belief that somebody is committing or about to commit criminal activity.
And what is that reasonable belief?
Ferguson said to you, and like I explained to you before,
yes, sir.
This area, during this time of night, especially on weekends, gets hit. Vehicle burglaries, as well as residential burglaries in these new homes, especially the model
So which
homes
one do you
right where
suspect
you're
me of? Vehicle or residential?
I don't know. Both.
You suspect me of both?
Yes.
Based on what articulable suspicion?
I just told you what's been happening over here.
Okay. So because I'm sitting
the amount
here,
of time where you're parked at, and especially because a security guard that works here every single night that knows who lives here, who comes and who goes, also adds to that suspicion as to why you're here.
So because I'm sitting here, not involved in an illegal activity, I'm sitting here
that's what we're here to investigate, is whether or not you are involved in illegal activity.
Well, then that's not articulable suspicion.
I think what you're misunderstanding is the difference between reasonable suspicion for detention and probable cause to arrest somebody for a crime.
Sir, unfortunately, I think what you're misunderstanding is the Constitution.
Not.
You are, sir. You are. I'm sorry. With all due respect, sir, I absolutely respect what you do. But I'm sorry, sir. You're incorrect.
The tension continued to rise as the citizen requested that the police clarify the legal basis for his detention. While the police still failed to provide clear evidence of a crime, the citizen repeatedly emphasized his personal freedom, asserting that requesting personal information was illegal without specific suspicion. Despite the police's attempts to persuade, they couldn't provide a reasonable explanation for the detention, leading to the citizen's refusal to cooperate. Finally, after the police were unable to provide a legal reason to continue detaining the citizen, he was allowed to leave. The citizen asserted his freedom while also criticizing the police's actions for violating his constitutional rights. Despite the tension and confrontation, he emphasized that he had not committed a crime and demanded respect for his personal rights. The police eventually confirmed that the citizen was free to leave, ending the interaction without any coercive actions.
I'm holding you up. I'm sorry.
You are. You're delaying our investigation.
No, sir. You're delaying mine. You're delaying mine. I was reading about my dead friend. Now I'm being harassed by the police. Can I be free to go?
No.
What do you suspect me of?
I'm gonna explain it to you again.
Yeah,
You've explained, sir, a dozen times you don't suspect me of any crime. If you don't suspect me of any crime, I have to be free to go.
At no point in time.
What am I being detained for? I'd like you to tell me again what crime.
Paul or William or whatever your name is. I'll explain that to you. Many
What's your name, sir, and badge number?
My name is Michael Sweeten. ID number is 5713.
What's your name and badge number?
AJ Ferguson 5723.
And you suspect me of what crime?
Burglary and residential burglary.
Burglary and articulate that for me.
I don't have to.
You don't have to. You don't have to have articulable suspicion.
Paul or William, again, whatever your name is. I wish I knew your first name.
Have you had a burglary call?
On a personal level.
Have you had a burglary call?
They think there's vehicle does not belong in this area.
That the vehicle doesn't belong here is what they told you, right?
The security guard that called thought that you may be up to either vehicle or residential burglary.
Which one? Either. Oh, So either.
Yes.
He thought that I might be up to either.
Yes.
And what's his articulable suspicion?
He works in here every single night.
I didn't ask that. I asked what's his suspicion. You guys have no suspicion.
Keep asking the same question.
You keep asking the same question too, man. You
don't ask me that question.
You
anymore.
can't give me an answer. You haven't given me an answer.
So just stop asking me.
You
the
haven't
same
given me an
question
answer,
because
man. Could you get that light out of my face, please?
Nope.
No? How come?
Because I don't know what you're reaching for down inside your vehicle.
I am not a risk to you.
To me right now.
I'm a major threat to you right now.
You're very agitated. I don't know what you have in your car because
I can't see. Gentlemen, I am not a threat to you.
Okay, you're telling me something, but I get lied to on a daily basis.
Well, I'm not. Well, then.
Don't know,
well,
okay?
listen. Then I'm not going
I want to go home safely to my family.
Then
just
all
like
you had to do was
so,
say that. All you had to do was say that. I won't reach for anything. I don't want you to be. I don't want you to feel that I'm a threat. I'm not a threat. Never committed a violent crime in my life.
Well, I wouldn't be able to know that because I don't know who you are.
But you don't have the right to know that if you don't suspect me of a crime. I'm going to make sure that you guys learn this. I'm going to make sure that you learn this.
Okay.
You're wrong. You're wrong, sir. You're absolutely wrong. You're violating my constitutional rights.
If I was, my sergeant would have already told me to get back in my car.
You know what?
And go
Your
home.
sergeant's wrong.
No.
Your sergeant's wrong. Why do you think that your sergeant hasn't smashed my window and put me in handcuffs? No, it's because he has no articulable suspicion and he wants to keep his job.
We want to do this the most peaceful way possible. What we're not going to do is just be quick to use our authority to bust your window out.
You don't have authority.
Right now
you have zilch authority.
Right now you could go to jail.
For what, sir?
Delaying our investigation.
I'm not delaying it. You don't have an investigation.
We do.
You've not articulated the crime that you suspect me of. You have not. Gentlemen, can I be free to go? Can I be free to go?
No, sir.
Can I be free to go?
No, sir.
I have not committed the crime. Can I be free to go?
Is it Paul or William? Because we.
Here's the deal. Just for future reference, these officers did have a legal reason to just hear
yes,
me
sir.
out.
I'm going to hear you out, but you hear me out afterwards, please.
Okay. Certainly.
Okay. I wish you'd tell me what it was. I still don't know.
I've already explained it to you. You can rewind it on your tape. And
You've explained to me why you say that they have it. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. With all due.
I'm just going to tell you that I talked to Clark. He confirmed that you live there. So you are free to go. You are now free to go.
I knew that. I've been free to go.
That is not the case.
I've been free to go, but if I'd left, then I would have been illegally beaten.
Well, no, not necessarily.
Sergeant, listen, with all due respect, if you all feel that I was uncooperative and held you up, I have the utmost respect for law enforcement. Constitutional rights, and Sergeant, I'm looking you right in your eye. You know that there's no articulable suspicion, and you know that all three of you have violated my rights.
You have a good night, all right?
I will, sir.
Be safe.
Thanks.
Continue to educate yourself, okay?
You guys be safe, too.
All righty.
Every citizen has the right to ask for clarification and protect their rights, and should not be forced when there is no clear evidence of criminal activity. What do you think about this situation? Feel free to share your thoughts on rights and how to interact with the police in situations like this. Do you have the right to film the police while they are on duty? Let's explore the answer.
Educate the public. What law did I break?
I don't know you.
You don't know what law I broke. Because there wasn't one.
So if you...
Can you leave me alone? I'm just filming. Can you leave me alone?
Obstruction.
Can you leave me alone? It's not.
On February 21st, 2023 in Hilliard, Ohio, a citizen noticed two police vehicles stopped on the side of the road with their lights on, working with a car. The citizen approached, filmed from more than 10 feet away, and when the police approached and questioned him, he responded by saying, "You're dismissed," and used strong language. Under the First Amendment, citizens have the right to record and speak freely, including using rude language, as long as there is no threat or interference. Filming in a public space without causing disruption is legal and protected by federal courts. In this situation, the citizen did not break the law, and the actions of the police could be seen as exceeding their authority.
Action tonight. Let's go see what this is all about. Let's go find out.
We're more than 10 feet away.
You need anything?
Nope, you're dismissed.
Dismissed?
Yep.
Actually, that's not how it works, but...
Am I committing a crime?
No, but I'd like to know if you need
I'd like to
something.
not answer your questions. You're dismissed.
Why are you taking it?
Because I'm allowed to film in public.
You are allowed to film it.
Cool. You're
But I'm
dismissed.
just making sure that you need anything.
I don't need anything from you.
No interfering with our investigation.
I'm not interfering. You don't need to tell me that.
Man, you're nice. I appreciate you though.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah, for sure. I'm sorry. Do I have a First Amendment too, man? Dude, I can say what I want.
You do have a First Amendment.
Exactly. Which means I can say, point the camera at you. Yeah. You're dismissed. Yep, that's it. Bet you never been told that. I'm just sitting here filming. You're stared at a camera. We got 2203 on the other car. And you'll notice that I was able to say to that guy. You don't have to watch your language around cops, especially when they bother you, just because you pull out a camera. And we'll hang around for a bit. It doesn't look like anybody's in trouble over here. That's what I wanted to make sure, was that everyone was safe. Guy that I can. And there's nothing he can do about it.
The citizen continued filming from a safe distance, refusing to answer the police's questions, while requesting that the police identify any unlawful behavior. The police's failure to point out a violation showed that the citizen did nothing wrong. However, the police's attitude, not being able to answer questions about a possible violation and reacting with tension, raised suspicions about whether they were trying to hide something. If everything was legal and transparent, why couldn't the police clearly explain whether the citizen had violated the law? This attitude could create ambiguity and raise questions about the transparency of the police's actions.
He's got his window open. I hope you can hear me. You can film in the windows too if you want to.
Get away from the car.
Excuse
Get
me.
away from the car.
Excuse me. I'm not doing anything wrong,
You
ma'am.
can't just walk up on a police
I can
car when we're
absolutely.
doing an investigation.
I know the law better than you, don't I?
You don't.
Interesting.
We've got a prisoner in the back of the
I'm
car.
10 feet
You
away.
cannot just walk up on
I'm
the
10.
cruiser. You were close.
What law am I breaking?
I don't know you.
Tell me what law I'm breaking, officer.
Are you coming to let this dude out of the car?
Can you tell me what law I'm breaking?
Are you coming to let this dude out of the car?
I don't have to answer your questions.
That's what it surely looked like.
I don't have to answer
You
your
were walking
questions.
Right up to that car.
This is textbook, dude. I don't have to answer your questions. That's all.
You can educate all you want, but what you can't do is you can't interfere with our investigation. This is what I'm going to tell you. If you'd like to video, I would like you against the wall. So right here.
Here's fine.
And this is where my prisoner is. You want to see him?
Okay,
Here
here's
he is.
fine.
There's a prisoner back
Are you okay?
So it sure looked like you were coming to let him out of the car.
You're getting a complaint on you, dude. You need to
You
step
go
back.
right ahead. I haven't violated any of your rights.
I haven't violated any of your
Not
laws.
one. But you sure are
man.
really taking me away from my
You
investigation.
sound like feelings enforcement right now. You're law
Feelings
enforcement, dude.
enforcement? You let
What
the
law did I
prisoner out?
break? What law did I break?
Dude, I'm just telling you right now. Don't do that again or you will be detained.
What law did I break?
I'm telling you. Do you understand? There are prisoners
Educate
in
the public.
each one of them.
Educate the public. What law did I break?
I don't know you.
You don't know what law I broke
I
because
don't
there
know
wasn't
you.
one.
So if you
Can you leave me alone? I'm just filming. Can you leave me
called
alone?
obstruction.
No, actually it's
It's over
10 feet
prisoners.
away, dude. It's 10 feet
That's
away.
cute,
All I
because
need
you
is
were closer
8
than
and there's 10
10
feet. All I need is 8. I know
I'm
the
just
law,
letting
man.
you know again.
I know the law.
Don't do it.
You don't have to let me know anything.
Don't do it.
I was 10 feet away. And you still can't name a law I broke, can you, law enforcement? You can't name a law. You're real mad. You're big mad right now, throwing your arms in the air. Yeah. Say it again. Say it again. I'm still not under arrest, am I? Interesting. Because you don't have power over a law-abiding citizen. You're dismissed.
Dismissed. That's another great.
Dismissed is something you haven't heard from a citizen. Congratulations, you heard it today. Your partner's smart. He stayed in his car and he kept his mouth shut. Doing a great job. Yeah.
680.
A plus. A plus, my friend. Well done.
Hey.
All of that came from us.
Okay. So how much this is?
Yep.
Depending on the price, it's going to be a misdemeanor.
Looks like a theft.
Based on how much that is, I'm guessing it's. Okay. So you can just give me a total amount. So it's more than likely going to be a felony. If you can give me the price.
Yeah, I'll go down. I might get a photo of it real quick, and I'll go down and grab it.
And I'll do a release of property back to you.
I'm just gonna take it to the front service desk.
Okay, cool. Do you need a card, or how are you going to get it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to our car back.
Let me get one picture of everything. We appreciate it. You got 668 and 699.
668, 699. Thanks. You're not getting a complaint, man. You did great. You did great. You should tell your friend that I'm allowed to be 10 feet away and film in the car.
You're good, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You've been very polite to me.
The police could not demand that the citizen stop filming without a legal reason. It is crucial for the citizen to understand their rights. If there is an unreasonable request from the police, the citizen can ask for an explanation of the reason or the law they are allegedly violating. The citizen's rights are protected in such situations. An interesting situation involving personal rights and behavior during encounters with authorities.
Is there a problem?
Is there a problem?
Yes.
I don't have a problem.
Okay.
No.
Why are you guys filming them?
Well, I'm not interested in answering any questions.
Okay.
In January 2021 at the Tri-County Health Agency in Inglewood, Colorado, a group of citizens filmed from the public sidewalk without entering the private area of the building. Filming in public areas like sidewalks is protected by the First Amendment, ensuring the right to free speech and the right to record in government-managed public spaces. When agency staff expressed concern and called the police, officers arrived but found no evidence of illegal activity. The individuals refused to provide personal information, invoking their right to remain silent under the Fifth Amendment. Although the police suggested they leave the premises, the group emphasized that this was public property, maintained with taxpayer funds. After some discussion, the police did not enforce any action or ask them to leave, showing proper limits of authority in the absence of clear violations.
What are you doing?
Okay. What are you guys doing?
Whatever's apparent.
Okay. What are you filming?
You right now.
Okay. Moskal 1602.
How do you say it again?
Moskal, M-O-S-K-A-L.
Moskal.
Yep.
And what was the badge number? I'm sorry.
1602.
1602, thank you.
So they called us. They're just worried about what you guys are doing.
So maybe you should speak to them.
First,
Okay.
is there a problem?
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Is there a problem?
Is there a problem?
Yes. Why are you guys filming them?
Well, I'm not interested in answering any questions.
Okay. Why is that?
That's a question.
All right. Well, they just want you guys to move along.
Well, that's nice. What do you mean they want me to move along? I'm not on their property. I'm perfectly fine right here where I am. Why would I have to move along?
That's what they're asking.
Well, they can ask. So just let them know I respectfully decline.
It is you don't want to give me your name and any information.
Why would I do that?
Because I have to document that I talked to you guys.
Well, you can just put down good citizen.
Thanks. So I'm not going to put that down.
Okay.
I'll just put it down as you don't want to answer.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Alrighty. Have a good day.
A second police officer approached the scene as the citizens continued filming from the sidewalk, a public area owned by the county and not restricted unless explicitly posted. The citizens invoked the First Amendment to protect their right to film in public spaces, with no invasive behavior or disturbance. The officer maintained a calm demeanor, took no coercive action, and did not challenge the right to record. When asked, he was willing to provide his name and badge number in line with transparency and public accountability principles. The dialogue remained constructive, with no escalation of tension.
So this is Inglewood Police Vehicle 7486. 2 and 3 hiding over there on that back street.
How's it going, guys?
How we doing, man?
Doing good. the ladies inside are within your rights to stand right here and film and do whatever you want to do. I'm just asking you to stay off the property. All right.
Okay. I mean, you can ask, but
Well, no, it's Tri-County held, so it falls under government.
right, which is public property.
Okay.
This property is owned by,
Okay.
which means public tax dollars paid for.
Sure. What are we trying to accomplish here, guys?
Well, that all depends. I mean, what's your? Let's drop the like. Let's just go that route. I'm trying to make it as quickly.
What have I done to scare you?
All right, I'm just saying. Let's make it a man-to-man, man-to-woman conversation.
Sure.
And what's your real question? What's the concern?
I'm asking you. What are you guys attempting to accomplish here?
No, I'm more interested in what they're attempting to accomplish by calling the police on two guys with cameras on a public sidewalk.
Well, you scared them. They're ladies, and it happens sometimes.
We've got patients inside, and you guys are.
What do you mean?
She's tough. Look at her.
Yeah. What do you mean? That's no excuse. She's a lady. My wife. You ever meet my wife? No.
No.
There's some very tough women out there.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're done here. We're not gonna do anything else with this. You guys just do me a favor, stay on the sidewalk. Don't scare the ladies.
But you're not telling me not to go on their property, right?
I know what you're trying to do, and I'm not being engaged.
You probably don't know what I'm trying to do.
All right,
Okay.
have a good day.
All right. So we're not being trespassed on the property.
You're not being trespassed on the property.
I'm gonna go take a look at the signage on the door, and then I'll probably be out of here.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's get in my car. Does that work?
Sounds good, thank you.
There you go, sir.
You missed an opportunity for me to explain myself by jumping to conclusions, so maybe next time I'll do that.
No one jumped to any conclusions.
Yeah, they did.
All right.
Yeah, you're gonna wind up being the one that made a mistake today, not me.
Okay.
All righty, have a good day.
This situation reminds us to be aware of our rights and to treat others with respect in all situations. Always stay calm, act appropriately, and remember that the law protects our rights. The situations we've seen are clear evidence that the personal rights of every citizen must be protected, especially when facing the police. These rights are not just theoretical. They are something we can enforce, such as refusing to provide ID or recording the police while they are on duty. Understanding and being aware of your constitutional rights helps you protect yourself and raise legal awareness within the community. At the same time, this is an opportunity to reflect on how we can build a fair and transparent society. A society where the rights of every citizen are always respected, and law enforcement agencies set a good example. Always remember that our rights are protected by the Constitution. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share it so everyone can get this important information.